Okay, hello everyone, welcome. It's been a while since I've done one of these. The last time I did this was with Falling. I don't usually do a lot of making of videos, but I feel I want to try and do them a little bit more, especially with the songs that I feel are a lot better overall. And I feel that with the song Paradise, it's probably the best one I've done in a very, very long time, if not ever. So yeah, I felt like I wanted to do a whole making of it and just be like, hey, this is how it's done, this is the process of, what I got to making for it. Yeah. Okay, so we're just gonna jump straight in. I think I'm gonna start with the bass line in this, the entire thing. So I originally started out with messing about with a bunch of different chords and different styles. I took a lot of influence from Cream. I've been listening to them a lot recently. They're probably my favourite artists at the moment, so I thought, it's probably the perfect way to, get some inspiration from them and be like, I enjoy this kind of music. It's what I want to do. It's what makes me happy. And I can put my own spin on it all. So that's what I do. Okay, so we'll go straight back into it. So I originally started with a sub bass in this as well. Just sort of bouncy sub bass, go along with the chords, just to help with the whole flow. And that was accompanied with just two other layers of a little mid bass in here. Actually, I'll do the whole solo. Why not? We'll solo the whole thing out. So it's just all plucky sort of bass. So yeah, and it worked out really well. It sounds really nice, and I feel it works very nicely within the main bit. And then on the sort of break area for it, I done a respace, and I usually use respace in every single track that I have. I feel it just helps create such a nice flow with a track, and yeah, helps everything move properly. So when it wants to play, there you go. And it's got a little slide on it as well, I think, it sounds like. Yeah, tiny bit of portamento on there. So yeah, okay, we'll come back to the beat down a little bit later on, and I can go through all of the different layers of the bass on here, because as you can see, just from this is all bass. A lot went down. I feel that I wanted to make nice thickness to it, create good layers, so only the sub and parts of the other bass have actually a bunch of low end on, just to help bring it through. But I wanted to add a bit of variation to it and create so many different special sounds in it, so it all flows together. So I think what we'll do is move on to the synth layers now. There's a fair decent amount, not a huge amount in here, but enough to create an impact. So we will go on to these. So I originally started out with a little viola sound. It's just very simple background, and if you're listening carefully to the main part of the track, or the intro to the track, sorry, you will have heard this come through. So yeah. It's been sidechained through the entire track here, as you can see. The entire synth layer was being sidechained the entire time, and because there was drums going on at the start bit as well. Then in the next bit there was the main lead, and that just slowly started creeping in towards the build up of the track. So that started out as a normal sort of kind of the sound of a lead that Cream usually use in their tracks. And then I sort of switched it around a bit, added a bit of brass in there, and created something a bit interesting. And all the different layers of that I put into this bit just here, plus the chords. But we'll just do the main leads at the moment. So when they're all in together. So yeah, a lot of like brass sounds that are coming in there, and I thought I wanted to add so many different, like, you know, brass bits going together, trombones, trumpets, all of that coming in together, plus a little bit of synth, and I think it just made it so nice and rich in the mix there, and it worked very well with the vocals that come in as well, which we'll go on to in just a second. So we'll go on to the chords that I had as well, and they're quite simple chords. It was basically just the bass line I had, and I shifted it up 7, which is pretty easy. So and then with the other chords. Pretty simple. And then just a nice like airy synth as well to go on with it. Which is basically just, yeah, as you see there, arpeggiated along. It's just one simple note going along, and yeah. So I don't think there's much I really need to talk about with the drums. They're actually quite simple. Obviously I had a shaker going on at the start bit, which accompanied everything really well. I'm going to take out all of the vocals for now, and then I'm going to just play it. It's come along nicely, and then there was a filter drum here that I used to use a simple kick. I think I froze this actually, or consolidated it, turned it into an audio, and then switched it down. But yeah, the shakers continue up until then. All that sound actually, the effects, I'll get to that one there, because I really enjoyed them. But yeah, simple drums. And then with the kick, not really much to it. It was just a simple, strong, powerful kick that I found on Splice? Yeah, I found it on Splice, the main kick. And then I just sort of tried to control it with a bit of EQ. But it was a heavy hitting drum. Obviously cut out a lot of the low end, because you don't want too much of the low end coming through on your kicks, because the bass accompanies that. So you want to make sure your bass has enough coming through, and then your kicks cut down a bit, because when they're all mixed in together, it all flows, all gels. If you put too much low end onto either one of them, it's just gonna be horrible. And then when you listen to like a live setting, it's disgusting, because all you can hear is just the thud of it all, and you don't want that. The other ones here, like hi-hats and claps, they were simple as well. Done a bit of EQ. I used some of the cheaty ones on Ableton, whatever they are. On the EQ, you got your own drum ones, and you can work with these and then fiddle about with them. It's just, to me, it's a simpler process to do that, rather than trying to fiddle about with everything yourself. And yeah, it's just makes things nice and simpler. So there was a snare and a clap together in this bit, just to help, thicken up that there, because one snare on its own, too thin, one clap on its own, too thin. So coming together, yeah, just hits nicely. I did the same with the hi-hat as well. I added 2 separate hi-hats. One was just the simple sort of just the 4/4 flow. Yeah, simple one. But then I added another shaker in the middle of there as well, just to add a little bit extra. And then added some extra bits at the bottom here, like little snaps. And then little bits of effects, as you can hear. Little percussions. Oh, they're more hi-hats. I didn't even know I added a third one. I apologise. Yeah, more hi-hats as well, just to help, keep a whole flow and a ride of it all. And then this little fill I used the same fill in Gone. I basically I don't remember where it originally came from. I think it was already on it was already on like an AbleTunes thing. AbleTunes is a fantastic website. They put loads of different like templates together. You can go and buy them, and yeah, they can do whatever you want with them. I'm not sponsored. I'm not getting any payment for them, but I feel they're a very good tool. If you want to decide to go check them out and have a look at all the stuff that they can do for multiple different genres, it's really helpful. And if you're ever stuck on a track, go to them and you get really good ideas. So I use this one in Gone. I think it's just a very, very good fill. I put a bit of a phaser on it as well, just so it, it's not too over the top, and it has like a sort of weird transition to it, and so it's not too it's an ever so slight thing that I did, but I sort of filled it in there. We'll move into the effects. There's not a lot really to mention about them apart from this little lead. I don't know, what would you call it? Just a couple of notes or whatever, like a little riff maybe. I was very happy with it when I first found it, and I sort of wanted to fiddle about with it and try and do stuff with it. And that's exactly what I did. You've got a nice atmosphere thing that's just sort of helping in the background. Just there, and then when you've got the little viola that come in as well. It's just nice going along together. But onto the this little thing here. I was really happy with what I did with this. As you can see, a lot's going on here. I've done a massive low cut. I got high reverb, high delay, and yeah, a lot of stuff going on with it. But it's just a very simple thing. I just fell in love with it. I've pitched it up too, but if I can completely take out all of this and play the main one, and I can bring in the whole thing out. So it's basically just a little like violin from Kashmir that I found on Splice, and I thought I'll take a couple of bits of it, tweak around with it, and this was the original. And I just thought, you know what, that sounds really good. I really want to fiddle about with it, make it my own. And that plays through the entire track, as you can see, and you've probably heard it during it, and I think it just adds that extra nice bit of layer to it. It doesn't make everything sound too blocky. It makes a nice, I'd say almost like a different transition to extra bits when it's like sitting in there. Just something a bit different to listen to, I think, throughout the rest of the track, rather than just a simple bass line, basically. And then I've obviously got risers and snare rolls, everything like that, as you usually would in a track, just to create a bit more spice to it. So I'll move on to vocals. This I'm going to show you a little bit later, because I did it actually in a different project, because I just felt I wanted my CPU to be a little bit safe. So I took it to another project and sang it through, done all my editing with it, and then brought it back to this project here, just so it helps, die down a lot on the plugins, and it just saves the project a bit more. But I did add some different plugins to this bit here anyway. I've got my ozone, some side chaining, and some EQ, which I'll go through later on. But I want to show you my ideas for the beatdown. And we'll go on to the whole layer of the beatdown, where I've put the bass in there and the synths, everything like that. But I've still done a fair bit with this. This is just all me, pretty much. I've just taken parts of the vocals here, turned them into little vocal chops, and I think they came out really, really well. So yeah, a lot of auto-tune. With Little Old Boy, I really enjoy this. It's like a formant tool. And yeah, it sounds really good. I've also got a lot of delay going on. No reverb apparently. Have I got any reverb? Apparently not. Interesting. Okay, I'm fine with that. Oh, I know why. That's my reverb. That's my reverb right there. I completely forgot I've got return tracks. So yeah, I'll put a massive reverb on a return track, switch to the group just so they all work together. But Little Otter Boy, you can, as I say, can change formants and everything. You can drop down the pitch of the whole thing on here, and it doesn't like destroy the tone of it as much. But when they're all laid in together, just creates a bit of thickness to it, and it sounds slightly out of tune, but it's not, I promise. And then pitching up as well, just little vocal chops. I don't remember what part of the track this was in. So yeah, I fiddled about with the BPM of it. So that was actually the end of the track kind of bit there. Yeah. So yeah, I added extra layers to it, so all the high pitched versions of it all go in together. So I've got my normal sub bass that is just a simple flow of one note, nothing interesting, just as a sub bass would. And then I got some like other things in here. So it's like a sort of Medusa bass kind of thing, but I've kept a lot of the high end with it, just to help, you know, put a bit of a difference to it, and a bit more of like a slight distortion. And that's the same, but it's like very, very distant. Don't know how much you'll be able to hear from this actually. It just slightly adds a bit more of distortion to the high end of it all. And then on here, all of my like mid basses and little plucks and everything, as you can see, it's just quick sounding ones that just sort of I just really like the flow of that with the vocals, but it's all like sort of mid-range bass, as you can see from all the EQs, and that's just like a little hi-hat thing that I added, just to add like more of a sort of click to the bass as it goes on. And that's like one of my main plucks there. So yeah. It's just very nice. And then I got like a sort of Vox bass here. A lot of weird EQ stuff went on with this one. I'll play it on its own. Alright, try to. Just create something a little bit different in there. An extra layer. But just I didn't want to overpower all the same sounds too much. So I wanted to sort of bring in a nice sort of simple, straight layer, just, you know, to keep a rhythm. But all that was like filtered down as well, as you can see. So it's just using the mid-range of the EQ. And at the end as well, I did some interesting stuff. I put an arpeggio in here, which I think came out really nice. It's just a thick layered one, not much filtration to it. I sort of just bumped up the cutoff on Serum. So it's just a simple piano, which I'd used some reverb and delay on, just to add a bit of a vibe. And I accompanied that with another synth. I think it was like a sort of, oh, it says there, like a Medusa synth, I believe this was. But it was like pitched up slightly. So if you pitched it down, you'd get the sort of Medusa vibe. but I didn't want it too low. I wanted to sort of bring it out in the mix, so I brought it up an octave. And when they're played together, yeah, I think come out really, really nicely. I think none of the layers are too overpowering with each other. I think the impact of everything is just so nice, really. I'm currently working on another track that's not as melodic as this. Like, there's a lot more bass, sort of, bass regions to it. But yeah, I was really happy with how this one came out. I didn't plan to make it sound as majestic as it does, I suppose. I worked with it for so long. There was so many different ideas for this song. I went through multiple different kind of vocal melodies. This track was completely different. Like, when I originally made this track in the anticipation of releasing it as Paradise, it was more towards the style of Medusa, a bit of Joel Corry maybe, kind of that sort of stuff, like very sort of poppy. And the more I worked on it, the more I was like, this isn't me. I don't enjoy it as much as I expected I would. So I sort of just stopped doing that and wanted to go down a completely different route. And the reason why it took so long to release the song in the first place is because of that. I was going through so many different styles. I was like, I don't enjoy this. I don't enjoy that. Let's try and do something that feels a bit more, closer to me, a bit more personal to me, hence why I wanted to sing on this track. I'm not the best singer, but that's the whole beauty of audio editing and all the plugins you can use to make yourself seem more professional than you actually are. So yeah, I'm going to move on to the vocals now, actually. I'm going to get up the other project where it was, and I can talk you through all of that, and you get to hear my actual singing, because I used Little Altar Boy to switch around with it a bit, just so the vocals are a bit deeper, because I wanted the vocals to be a bit deeper, and my voice when singing just isn't that, and it didn't work with the whole vibe of it. So I sort of brought the format down a bit, and I'll show you. We'll go into it. Okay, so here it is. As you can see, not a huge amount going on with it. Probably my biggest flaw is figuring out harmonics and ad-libs and all of that. So I cheated a little by using Little Altar Boy and duplicating all of my my tracks. So I've got a couple of plugins that aren't on here at the moment. They're probably on my other computer, but not on here. So again, autotune. Obviously, you need autotune. You can't use any autotune plugin, or you can't not use any autotune plugin if you're trying to make a professional track nowadays. Some people obviously can, but if you are someone like me who needs it, I will not be able to get away with it. So like the basic retune speed for it, as you can see, that's the key of the track right there, G sharp minor. So as I said, I used Little Altar Boy and just dropped it down a bit. Everything that I usually use is all on here. I've got an EQ cut there, just took out a bunch of the low end. I know I've got extra EQs in other places to help that. Some delay in certain places. I automated it for certain other bits. I don't remember why I did it on here. Somewhere in here, I think. This is basically used. Let's have a look. Yeah, okay. So more towards doing that, just sort of let it, tail off a bit nicer. That's the reason why I did that. Well, it's like an amp. This is an amp in Ableton, just to help a bit more with like saturation and slight distortion, just to thicken it up a bit, and it came up really nice. I've got some compression going on as well, EQ to cut out a lot of the low end, more compression, a saturator there, and I use Howard Benson's vocals, which I think is very, very good. It's originally catered to more rock and metal vocalists because of all the different sort of distorted bits you can do in it, but I feel you can do so much with this. I feel my vocals sound 10 times better just by using this, purely because the quality of it just comes out so nice. Obviously, it's a lot to work with and to learn. But yeah, if you ever want to give it a go, there it is. It's got its own little like de-esser in it as well. Doesn't work as amazing as, you know, a normal other de-esser would, but I've already added like a slight bit of it just to help with a bunch of different high ranges. Hence why I had sibilance as well, but I don't have it on here, so that doesn't help. And then I also used even more de-esser when I pushed it back into the main project. Because for some reason, when I'm singing or even talking, a lot of S's and T's and all of that come out, even F's. F's are the worst ones. I don't know why. That's just me. So I also added some return tracks as well. So I've got a width there, just like a bunch of sort of delay, slight like Hass delay kind of thing there, or a Hass effect. More stuff from Ozone, a bunch of EQ, some saturation, and yeah, some reverb as well. And it just helps. I tend not to try. I try to do my best not to put any reverb or any delay smacking onto one main track, because you always want to add like a bit of the dry still in there, and the only way to do that is by adding return tracks, because it mixes the dry and wet signals together and it just comes out a little bit clearer. I think other people do it as well.
So close, can't feel the heat.
As you can hear, a lot of like the S's come out here because my DS's are off.
So close, can't feel the heat. Rising when you look at me, like magic in the...
And then these bits are pitched up bits, and I've widened them as well. 50 pan to the left, 50 pan to the right. It's just hard panning, basically. A lot of reverb on them as well. I've just smacked up the returns all the way up to full.
Intoxicated, you numb the pain. Nice young soul made the call. Don't waste no time at all. Dance under the lights, or lost inside your eyes. So hit.
Also in here, there should be a lot of breaths, but I cut them down quite a lot. Yeah, there you go. They come out. It's best to keep some of the breaths as well, but just sort of, you know, bring the volume down, bring the levels down, because I feel it makes it a little bit more authentic having them slight breaths in there if you can still hear them. But obviously you don't want them overpowered, because with them overpowered, as you will hear,
Dance under the lights, or lost inside your eyes. So hypnotize your...
a lot of mouth sounds, a lot of like gasps. You don't want it. Get rid of them. But that's basically it for the vocals. Nothing special really. Shall we do it? Shall we just go straight to the original vocals? Dry everything. Should we do it? Yeah, go on. Why not? I'll even take out all the reverb and the wideness, and you can hear the horrors. Yeah, as I said, I'm not the best singer. I don't think I'm actually that good of a singer. Other people obviously say otherwise. The reason why people say otherwise is because of all the editing I've done to the vocals. But to me, I definitely could improve. I used to sing a lot when I was younger, but I stopped singing for a while. But yeah.
So close, can't feel the heat. Rising when you look at me, like magic in the air. Supernatural atmosphere got me intoxicated.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't... Yeah. It's okay. It was obviously good enough for me to choose it for like the final takes. But obviously using effects help everything.
Close, can't feel the heat. Rising when you look at me.
I think, yeah, overall it came out really well. That's basically the track, really. There's not much else to really go through. Obviously, as I'm going through and clicking through them, you can see the certain different effects that I've done. I think the best part about doing music is you can just be so creative. Like, you don't need to try and copy too many people. Like, if you want to take an idea from someone and be like, this sounds good, I want to make this to my, my own as well. You can take an idea for inspiration and switch it around and make it as you possibly can. But after that, like, yeah, you can do anything to your song. Like, if you believe it's good, then it's good. As long as you're following like the main rules and basics of music production, anything goes. But yeah, overall, everything is yours at the end of the day. Like, there's no right or wrong with it, providing it sounds crystal clear, and best quality you can possibly make it. Obviously things take time. You can't expect to just rush into things. But yeah, on here now you can actually you can hear where the nectar was in there, plus the other sibilants as well, and certain different other like EQ points I did to cut down. Like I did some manual de-essing.
Don't waste no time at all. Dance under the lights, or lost inside your eyes. So hypnotized, you'll make me feel high.
Just to cut out a lot of de-ess, because without that,
dance under the lights, or lost inside your eyes. So hypnotized, you'll make me feel high.
You can hear that F come straight through.
Stay up all night till we see the sunrise. Oh, by your side is paradise.
So I did a lot of like my own manual editing for that, because them Fs were just too bad. I didn't enjoy them sitting in there at all, and using like a de-esser didn't work as well as I wanted it to. Hence why I had to do some manual stuff instead. If you have any other questions on it, on certain other different points, then I can respond basically. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. I'm not sure how to usually end these sort of videos. Like I said earlier, I'm in the works with another track at the moment that I'm very, very happy with. I've even said to friends that this is probably like the best one I've done again, and I'm really excited for it. Problem being, I'm not a good lyrics writer. It's probably one of the worst things. Melodies I can kind of do, but lyrics is the strong issue that I have, so it's going to be a while. I don't want it to be a while. I want to try and get these lyrics done and bring it out, but we shall see. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. Hope you really did enjoy this. Hopefully it gives you more of an insight on this track, because it's still so close to me, so close to my heart, and I'm really, really, really impressed with it. But yeah, I should hope to bring up some more music very soon. I wanted to start doing some more videos like this, or even just like, behind the scenes kind of stuff. But we shall see. We'll see what the future holds. But yeah, anyway guys, thanks so much, and I'll see you again very soon.